Welcome to Davy's Take. Today we are talking about Challengers, the new film that stars Zendaya. So Challengers is about three up-and-coming tennis players that have dreams to go pro, but they find themselves in a little love triangle. And I'll leave it at that. So this film was directed by Luca Guadagnino, and he's made some pretty great films lately. He's been on a pretty good run. What I like about his films lately is they all center around love, but they all feel sort of different. I mean, there's one that's about cannibalism, but it's a love story. So I love films that can be completely different and weird like that. And this love story is about three young tennis players that have dreams to be great. And you know me, I love sports, so whenever a good sports movie comes along, I get really excited, and that's exactly what Challengers is. But it should come to no surprise that the tennis in this film is more of an afterthought, and that's not a bad thing at all. It actually makes the film better. What really drives this movie is the relationship between our three main characters, and I think it's really, really well done. Sometimes films about love stories can be boring. There are some that are really great, but I feel like most of them can be kind of a drag. That is not the case with Challengers, because this film is filled with characters that have real depth, real personalities, and make them really interesting. Whenever a character does something, you completely understand their motivation. It's completely in character. They're well understood, and that's really hard to do sometimes. And that's what really drives the film, the drama between these three characters, and the tennis just makes the movie more fun. And all the performances here are great. Zendaya, I think, gives her best performance in a movie. Her character deals through a lot throughout the film. She has to be the super confident person that seems almost invincible, but at the same time she has her own issues, and I think she does a great job. And another great performance was Josh O'Connor. He plays like this piece of shit fuckboy, but he's also super charismatic, and you know he wants to be the best, and I thought his character was really interesting. The back and forth between these three characters is what really makes the movie work. There's like this personal battle between them, but at the same time there's battles on the court too, and it correlates really well. And that goes into how the film is structured, and I think it's structured pretty well. That's because throughout the whole film there's one match going on, and the match correlates with what's going on with our characters throughout their whole entire lives. I think it matches up so well, makes the narrative very interesting. And to no surprise, the film is directed beautifully. There's some great shots here, but also there's some sequences where you're watching, you're like, wait a second, there hasn't been a cut yet. This is all one take. This is fantastic. You can rewatch the scene and probably see where the cuts are, but it's seamless. And that has to do with great filmmaking and great editing and great performances. And the score here is incredible. Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross have done it again. They've had a history of making great scores like The Social Network, and it's no different here. It really elevates the experience. It's like this techno dubby music that I think really works for the film, and it randomly plays in certain conversations that might really irritate people, but I thought it made the film a lot more fun. But that goes into one of my issues with the film. I think there are times during conversations that the music is a little bit too loud, like I can't hear what some of the characters are saying. And going back to the structure of this film, I think it's done really well, but there are a lot of time jumps. So there are times where we're jumping back and forth between years. It can feel a little convoluted. And the ending. Obviously no spoilers here. I think the final sequence of this film is really intense. It's really well done. There's a callback that I really liked. I think all that is great. But like the actual final shot, the actual ending, like the last like 10 seconds of the movie, I don't know how I really feel about it, because I'm not sure if I really understand it. I'm not really sure if this movie warranted an ending like that. Like, I feel like there should have been a little bit more explained. Like, it almost feels like they didn't know how to end the film, so they're just gonna cut to black. But I've never claimed to be a smart person. Who knows? There's probably someone online that's gonna explain why it's like the most beautiful ending ever, and it just went completely over my head. But hey guys, I'm still learning here. So the ending I'm still processing, but overall I really enjoyed Challengers. I thought it was a really engaging love triangle story with characters that were really interesting. The tennis element of the film makes it a lot more fun. There are some great performances, some great filmmaking. It's just a really well-made, horny-ass tennis movie. I'm gonna give Challengers 8 Davey Daves. If you're a big tennis or sports fan, you think the film is going to really focus around that element. It does a lot, but it's mostly about the love triangle. And honestly, it's the most interesting part of the film. So, Challengers, let me know what you guys thought of it once you've seen it. I'm curious to hear. And thank you so much for watching. Click here to see more of Davy's Takes.